Hello guys, this is Muhammad and welcome to SAP Academy. This is session number 2 and is about navigation. It is important to first familiarize ourselves with SAP screens, menus and functions. In this session of navigation, the topics we are going to learn are user interface, using menu tree, search menu tree, transaction codes, favorites and user settings, search help, SAP library, some important commands. Let us start with the first topic, user interface. In user interface, we are going to learn how to log into SAP, various sections on GUI screen. GUI stands for graphical user interface, and the third item in the section is how to log off. So to log in, on the desktop screen you will see an icon, SAP logon. This is the logon icon. You have to double click on it and you will see a pop-up window. Depending on the release, you may see some variations, and it depends on how many systems are available for you to log in. In my case, I have only one system. You may have multiple systems, for example, multiple development clients, multiple quality clients, and production systems. So first decide which client you want to log in, and you can double click on the system, or you can right click and click on logon, or simply you can press enter. Once you do that, you will see this screen. The first thing you need to enter is the client, which client you want to work on. If you have multiple clients, you first need to enter the client number. For me, it's 400. And then you enter the username and password, and by default the logon language is English. Once you enter the username and password, you press enter, and once you press enter, it will take us to the SAP Easy Access screen, which is the first screen when we log in. Now after logging in, we'll see the second section. The first section on GUI screen is the menu bar. As you can see, in menu bar we have different options like an icon, menu icon, and menu option, edit, favorites, extras, system, help. And on the right, extreme right corner of the screen, you will see the minus minimize sign and the restore symbol and the X mark, is for close. And the second section is standard toolbar. Here you will see a lot of standard options like print, search, log off, last page, first page, page up, page down, and so on. And here you will also see a command window. So this is the command window, and if you want to execute any transaction, you enter the transaction code here in the command window. And this is called a standard toolbar because this doesn't change. Even if you go to any transaction, it doesn't change, it remains same. This is a standard default toolbar. And the next one is title bar. You can see here it says SAP Easy Access. Since this is the initial screen, it says Easy Access. If I type in a T code using the command window, this title bar will change according to the transaction. It will show the title of the transaction. Okay. And then the next section is application toolbar. So this section is application toolbar. This section will also change depending on the transaction you are in. So in the coming slides we'll see how it changes. And to the bottom of the screen, we have this status bar. The status bar displays different messages, and it will also show important information while we are working. Now we have seen how to log in and various sections in the user interface. We'll now see how to log off. So to log off, we can click on the small menu icon on the extreme top left corner of the quiz screen, and then we can click on close. We have other options to log off. For example, on the standard toolbar, we have an icon to log off, and on the menu bar on the extreme right corner, you can also select the X mark. Let's have a demo on this section. First, we will log on. Double click on the SAP logon icon and select the system. Click on log on. Select the client. Enter username, enter password, hit enter. We are on the SAP Easy Access screen. You can see here all the different menus. This is the menu bar. Options under menu. Options under edit. Favorites. Extras. System. Help. Minimize. Restore. Close. And then we have enter button here. Command window. Close command. This will actually hide the command window. And save button. Back button. Log off. Print. Find. Find next. First page. Previous page. Next page. Last page. Open a new GUI window. Generate shortcut. Help. And others. This is the standard toolbar. And the title bar is SAP Easy Access. So if I go to any transaction, the title bar will change according to the transaction. You can see. Now we have application toolbar, which has user menu, SAP menu. So the difference between user menu and SAP menu is currently we are on SAP menu, you can see here. And if I click on user menu, it will give me what are all the transactions assigned to this particular user. You can see user menu for the user I logged in with. To go back to the SAP menu, I just click on SAP menu. And then I have SAP Business Workplace, other menus, favorites, add and delete, change favorites, move favorite up and down, and so on. And then at the bottom, I have the status bar, and in status bar, this is where I see which transaction I'm currently in, the client I'm currently in, and the user I'm logged in as. All these things I can check here. Now let us log off. So to log off, we can either use this button here, or we can use this button in the standard toolbar, or we can just directly click on the X mark. Once I click on that, it will show me a pop-up message asking me to save the data. I click yes, and we are logged off from SAP. Let's move on to the next section. The next section is using menu tree. As you can see, as highlighted triangle icon on each of the menus. We can use that triangle icon to further drill down to go to various transaction codes. Let's have a demo on this section. As I said, we just need to click on the triangle to navigate to the transaction we want to go. Let me use accounting to go to invoice posting transaction. Accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, document entry. This is enter GL account document. So this is how we drill down to reach the transaction using the menu tree. Let's move on to the next section. Search menu tree. For search, we can use the binoculars icon on the standard toolbar if you want to search anything on the SAP screen, or we can use Ctrl plus F, which we normally use in other applications. We can search for technical names, which are transaction codes, or we can give text. In this example, I'm searching for a transaction code which is FB60. I enter the transaction code and press enter, and you can see the result. It will take me to the exact transaction code on the menu. Let's have a demo on this section. To search menu tree, you can click on this binocular icon, or I can just press Ctrl F. Let me search for FB60. You can see it has found FB60 from the favorites. So now one more thing, if I click on find next, then it will go and find the next entry in the menu, as you can see. So we have two entries for FB60 in the easy access screen. So it will find all of them one by one. Each time after click, find next. Let's move on to the next section. The next section is transaction codes. In transaction code section, we will learn executing a transaction from command window, from menu tree, and SPRO or IMG. How to activate T codes in the menu tree. T codes is a short form for transaction codes. To execute a transaction from the command window, we can type in the transaction code in the command window and press enter, or we can click on the green icon just to the left of the command window, or we can use the SAP menu option on the easy access screen to drill down to various transactions. Once we execute the transaction, it will take us to a different screen. And as I have mentioned earlier, that the standard toolbar remains the same. We are in a different screen, but the standard toolbar is the same. But you can see the difference in the title bar. The title bar has changed according to the transaction, and also the application toolbar has changed. If you go back and look at what was there earlier, as you can see, we have the application toolbar is totally different. Now you can see we have totally different options which were not there on the easy access screen. And at the bottom, you can see that system will show what transaction we are in. We are in FB60. Now move on to the next topic in this section, which is SPRO or IMG. SPRO is actually a transaction code. To know what's there in SPRO, you enter the transaction code SPRO in the command window and press enter. It will take us to another screen, and we select SAP reference IMG, and it will take us to the IMG section. This basically is the configuration section for the functional consultants. What all configuration we do in the system. We do it in IMG using the SPRO transaction. The earlier section, which was easy access SAP menu, is mainly used for business transactions and used by the end users, and also used by functional consultants for doing testing. The next topic in this section is how to activate T codes in the menu tree. If you look at the menu tree, I can see the description, but I don't see the transaction code. It just say invoice, but it doesn't show the transaction code. If you see a similar screen, you can change this by going to extras in the menu bar and selecting settings. It will show a pop-up window, and the last option is display technical names. You need to select that and press enter. Once we do that, system will populate the transaction codes along with the description. Let's have a demo on this section. Let us execute a transaction from command window. FP60, enter. Let us go back and execute the same from the menu tree. Counting. You can see here in accounting, financial accounting, accounts payable, document entry, we have FB60. And now let us go to SPRO. So as I said, SPRO is mainly for functional consultants to do the configuration. One option in SPRO is the documentation option. So if you're not sure of any configuration and its functionality, you can click on it and read the SAP documentation. This is also called IMG. And you can see here in the menu, you see the transaction code as well as the description. So what I'll do is I'll go to extras, settings, and you can see display technical name is checked. That is why you see the transaction codes with the description. Let me uncheck it, continue. Now let me go back to the transaction, accounts payable, document entry, invoice. You can see the transaction code is gone. Now let me bring it back, go to extras, settings, select display technical names, enter. Let's go back to the transaction, accounts payable, document entry. Here you go. Let's move on to the next section, favorites and user settings. As you can see on the easy access screen, on top of the SAP menu, you will see favorites. And in favorites, you see there are a lot of favorites already added. It is very useful to add favorites if you want to quickly run a transaction code. There may be some transaction codes which we may not remember, so it's better to add it to favorites instead of going to the SAP menu, drill down and reach the transaction code. To add a favorite, we can use the menu bar favorites option, or we can use the application toolbar section, add delete favorites. From the menu bar favorite section, we can select insert transaction. It has a lot of other options, but right now we'll just see insert transaction, and we'll see the other options in the coming sessions. Instead of using the favorites option, you can also use add to favorites button on the easy access screen. You place your cursor on the transaction code which you want to add onto favorites, and then click on the add to favorites icon. Once you do that, system will add it under the favorites section, as you can see it here. Okay, now go to the user settings. To access user settings, From the menu bar, select Settings, User Profile and User Data. It will take us to the user profile screen, and here you will see different sections like address. In address, we have the details of the user, the name, language, department, address, and so on. And the next section is defaults. This section is important because it has settings related to decimal notation, date format, and time format. When you execute any transaction or any report in SAP, it will display the values in the report as per the settings in the user profile. For example, here the decimal notation is comma as a thousand separator and dot as a decimal separator. So this setting is for this user, and we can change this setting if we want. Now, date format, by default it is DD, MM, YY. This also is the default setting for this user, and we can change this as well. Time format is a 24-hour format, hour, minute and seconds. These also can be changed by the user. The next section is parameters. This is a bit technical, so I'll keep it for our next sessions as it will confuse you at this moment. Let's have a demo on this section. Okay, let me add a favorite transaction, and then I can go to favorites, insert transaction, or the favorite icon on the application toolbar. Let me locate a transaction first. Okay, so as I said, I can use either favorites or the icon. So let me first use the icon to add it. Okay, I select the transaction code, I press add to favorites. You can see it has been added. Now let me add another one. So F-02, I go to favorites, I say insert transaction. It will ask me for a transaction. So I enter the T code F-02 and then continue. So this insert transaction function from favorites menu is useful if you already remember the transaction code. You can just directly type in. If you don't remember, you can drill down to the T code in the menu tree and then select it and then add it as a favorite. Now let's delete these favorites we have added. Delete. Now let's go to the user settings, user data, and the user data, user settings, we have address, as you can see, which has the user details, name, department, address, etc. And the defaults, you see the language, decimal notation, date format, time format. So let me open a report to show you how it displays the user profile settings. PL, 3L, GL account, execute. You can see it displays comma as a thousand separator and dot as a decimal separator, exactly as per the user profile setting. The profile, user data. Okay, now let's see the date format. Okay, you can see here it's 11/05/2020. You can see it's May 11, 2020. So it's in DDMM YYYY. exactly as it is here. And then the time is hour, minute, second. You can see the time, hour, minutes and second. And the last tab is parameters. Since this is a bit technical, I'll explain you in the future videos. Let's move on to the next section. Search help. Search help is a very important and useful function in SAP. You can see that I am in a transaction code FPL3N, which is for General Ledger Account Line Item Display. Here I can give GL account and company code. But if I don't remember the GL account, I can use search help to locate the GL account I want. I can select a scan icon or search icon, or I can simply press F4. It will open a pop-up window and I can give some information to the GL account and locate the GL account I want. For example, this example I'm using company code to find the GL account. You can also use GL account description, the company code, to find or locate the GL account. And you can see there are a lot of other options which you can use to find the GL account. Once I press enter, it will show me a list of GL accounts as per the search criteria I have entered. I can select the GL account and proceed with the transaction. Let's have a demo on this section. Let me search for a GL account in transaction FPL3N. Okay, let me click on the binocular icon. Let me search by GL text. I want to search for all bank accounts. I have given long text and company code, and I can restrict the search by the number of hits. So it will not show me a long list, it will show me only 500. I can also restrict it to 10 for any given number. Start search, and you can see there is only one bank account. Select it and then continue with the report. Let's move on to the next section. SAP Library. SAP Library is the SAP help portal, which is help.sap.com. We have to use our web browser to go to the portal, and we can use the search section to search for any item we want to study. It is a very extensive portal which will contain almost all the details of SAP functions. For example, I have typed General Ledger account, and you can see it has given me various options. It is very important to learn different options and different functions available in SAP and their uses. The documentation may also give some useful examples. Let's move on to the next section, which is some important commands. There are a lot of commands, but at this moment I am showing you only a couple of them, and we will learn the others in the coming sessions. /n. This is used to go to the home screen. This command we type in the command window. Once we press enter, it takes us back to the home screen. But we should be careful because the unsaved data may be lost. So we should save the data before using this command. The next command is /o. This is normally used to open a new GUI window. If I want an extra window and don't want to use the current window, I can use /o and open a new GUI window. There is a limitation to how many windows we can open. Normally it is limited to 6 simultaneous GUI windows. The next command is /o followed by a transaction code. We can directly open a new window with a particular transaction code. Let's have a demo on this section. Okay, the first command is /n. Let me first go to a particular transaction. Okay, now I want to go back to the home screen. I press /n and hit enter. It will take me to the home screen. Now for example, let us go to FB60 and let me try to enter something here. Amount. Now I am middle of this transaction. If I go to the command window and type /n and hit enter, all the data, unsaved data will be gone. So we should be careful before using /n. The next command is /o. /o, and then I click on create. I already have one session, you can see number, and then create. Once I do that, I have now 2 sessions. And the third command was using /o and a transaction code. /o FP60. Enter. You can see I had 2 sessions open earlier. Now I have one more session. SAP has opened another session with this transaction code. We have now reached the end of session number 2. Please use the comment section if you have any questions or want to give any feedback, and please subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as a new video is uploaded. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.